and today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite French recipes. This is the classic profiterole dessert, and I can't wait to show you. Here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna wanna get some flour, salt, and sugar, some eggs, 1 egg yolk, a stick of butter, and some water. So what I've done is I've added the water to a medium-sized saucepan, and I've turned the heat on high, and we're just gonna add in the 1 stick of butter, and then you want that to boil. All right, so the butter is boiling, and I'm adding in the flour, salt, and sugar. Perfect. And I'm gonna turn down the heat and stir it all together, and it's going to become one. So it's gonna become like the dough. This looks perfect. And you just wanna go ahead and stir that. Everything is coming together, and I just wanna cook this on the heat that's like remaining from the pan for about 2 minutes, just to cook out the flour, or until you see a film on the bottom of the pan. And I'll show you I'll show you what it looks like. But when the film happens, that just shows you that all the evaporation is gone and it's just like dry. All right, so as you can see, that's this film right here, and that just shows you that it is ready to go. So I'm gonna move over to a bowl. So I'm just gonna go ahead and crack the eggs. The dough has been cooling for about 3 minutes, and I went ahead and preheated the oven to 375 degrees. So what we're gonna do here is we are going to mix in the eggs one at a time. So I'm just gonna pour it in, really work with it, and it's gonna look like it's not gonna come together, but in the end, it's gonna be the perfect dough, and it's gonna look exactly the same as it did when it was in the pot, only a little bit thinner. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like when it's runny and not all combined. But I promise on that 4th egg, everything is gonna come together. So I'm just gonna keep stirring. I'm adding in the last egg, and you can see it's kind of a really thick consistency right now. So I'm just gonna push through it and finish this up. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. The dough is looking perfect. It is so thick and yellowy. This is exactly what you're gonna look for, and when you pull away, you want it to give you a peak, just like that. And now we're gonna put this in a pastry bag with a large round tip. So I got a pastry bag and a large tip, and to hold it all in, you wanna twist it and then tuck it in. I'm just gonna use a cup to help me keep it open so that I can get the thick dough in. So I'm just gonna scrape it off. Place it in there. I just lined a baking sheet with some parchment paper, and if you're having trouble keeping the parchment paper down, you can just use a little bit of the dough on the corners, stick it on there. That's what I did. And depending on how much dough you have or how big your pastry bag is, you might have to do this in a few batches. That's what I'm having to do, because you don't want to fill it up so much that the pastry dough is flying out everywhere, because that would be a disaster. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start down here, and you just wanna push down and then twirl like that. You don't want there to be any peaks, because those will burn. We're just gonna push, and then like that. And then once you're done with all of them, you can go back and push it down. All right, I just finished the last one, and now I'm gonna use my index finger to just poke down the tips. If it's too sticky, you can just stick your finger in some water, and that'll help you. I'm brushing on some egg wash. This is just 1 egg yolk with about 2 teaspoons of water, and this is just to help them brown when they're in the oven. It really creates that golden color, which is like what they're known for. So I'm just gonna brush this on, and you can use like a pastry brush. I would really, actually, you would wanna use the ones with the bristles rather than the silicone. That's just proper. I don't have one of those, not cool enough. But if you have one, use that. I'm gonna go ahead and start making the cream that's gonna go inside the cream puffs. They're in the oven right now. They're baking for 25 minutes. And so right now, you just wanna whip up some cream. This looks perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and take the blender out, mixer, whatever it's called, and add in some powdered sugar just to give it a little bit of sweetness, and just blend that on low for a few more minutes. I am just finishing up putting the whipped cream into a pastry bag with a smaller round tip. I don't want to overflow it, so I'll save that for Zach to eat later. I am going to go ahead and make the chocolate ganache. So I just added in some heavy whipping cream, and now I'm gonna add in the chocolate chips. I'm gonna continue to stir. A little bit longer. Chocolate is done. I'm just gonna push it to the side, make sure the heat is off, let that cool off because it is now time to take out the profiteroles. The cream puffs are out of the oven. They baked for about 26 minutes. I just wanted it to have a little bit more of a golden color. All you have to do is get a little bit of a paring, like a little paring knife, and just cut a slit, like a 1-inch slit, in the cream puff with the cream. Just gonna stick it in there and fill it up. And I'm just gonna finish these and meet you in a minute. I am filling the last one up. Like that. They look so good. Now it's time for the fun part. I went ahead and transferred the chocolate ganache to a bowl, and now all you have to do is dunk it in there, pull it up. There you go. If you don't want that much chocolate, which I don't know who would, because the more chocolate the better, you can drizzle it, but this is much better. I am finishing up the last one. These look so good. Look how pretty they are. Pop that one on top. Yum. And I'm just gonna put a little bit dollops throughout the cream puffs just to give it a little bit more prettiness. I don't want any of it to go to waste. So just in the holes, I'm just gonna use the rest of the whipped cream. All right. Now it's time for the taste test. Wow. Look at all of that. I probably have a chocolate mustache and it all in my mouth. But boy, that is good. I'm probably gonna eat all of these with my husband, Zach. I cannot wait. This pâte à choux dough can be used for eclairs, for cream puffs. They're so good and it's so easy, and I know that you can do it at home. Please do not be scared to do it. I like to pop these in the fridge for about 10 minutes so that they can get really cold. It just tastes so good, even in the freezer. So I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.